Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, welcome back to Let's Read Homestuck. In the last episode, John finally found out that Jack Noir killed his dad, and then Jack Noir killed him too! So, let's see what happened after Rose presumably blew up the castle. Dave, answer. Okay, you know what? I already read this, and I think I forgot to save the game last time. So, just click. Okay, now that we're back to where we're actually supposed to be. Let's see now. Much fanfare was made of the trial, more than I would have dared to hope. It seems my luck has been returning of late. The High Blood surely intended to make a spectacle of my conviction. They filled the court block with peasants ravenous for the comeuppance of a blue blood. I wasn't about to deny them what they came for. It was kind of the authority to supply me with the phalanx of such impressionable spectators. The weak wills were nearly as thick in the air as the rust in their veins. Funny how my other senses seem to have peaked since exchanging glances with the dragon. What an extraordinary specimen! How I've come to covet the creature since it ruined my fleet. I know too well the whispers of a dangerous new infatuation when they beckon, but I digress. It was simple enough to nudge the hostility of the lowbloods from one aristocrat to another. The subjugulators could not have been pleased, but nor could they have been altogether unamused, I would expect. I wonder if this was a part of their unfathomable game. I'll never understand their riddles. I only regret I didn't get to hear the opening statement the neophyte had prepared against me. The case she compiled from all the evidence she burned must have been damning. But I bet her remarks would have done worse than when she severed my arm. She certainly would have shown me greater mercy by taking the other instead. Alas, I mocked to disguise the extent of my regret. Had my escape not necessitated her demise, she would have made a lovely rival. If she'd only discarded her childish preoccupation with justice, we might have made a striking scourge. Had we inched blacker, we might have torn red miles across the land and sea. Unfortunately, the only miles to be found through her bureaucratic calling were those of red tape. When someone's snared, one is eventually bound to be choked. With the court block cleared, all that remained to obstruct my freedom was his honorable tyranny himself. Upon reflection, Red Glare showed the foresight of a true seer in thieving my arm before the trial. Oh, damn. It permitted a fair fight. Though I was free, I had no fleet. No matter. With the Gamblignants decimated, I embraced the turn in fortune and pledged to put my sea-grifting ways behind me. With any luck, the skies will be my fortune. My thoughts again returned to that dragon. But first I was in need of temporary refuge. I sought it with the... What's it? Expatriate? I don't know what that's supposed to be. He owed me for the sweeps of protection I provided after his brazen defiance of the High Bloods. I was perhaps the only such courageous stand ever taken against a superior by one of his supercilious pedigree. one of his supercilious pedigree, and I had not bothered sticking my neck out for another. But the admiration he'd won naturally wore thin as he persistently bemoaned his treason and banishment, and I was saddened to find this habit holding strong even now. I wonder if he still believes she was worth it. Repairing my arm would go a little further in squaring his debt with me. Even if I came with both intact, I might have ripped one off and put him to the task just to halt his blubbering. Darklear was always a skilled machinist, and the work proved an adequate distraction. So pacified, he listened to what I had to say about my recent travails with the law and pyrospite, and what I'd come for in truth, the treasure he'd been keeping safe for me. I cradled the oracle in my synthetic hand, as if appraising by weight the mystic qualities it still concealed. With my vision eightfold seared away, I was as blind to its secrets as the old doctor was to its present whereabouts. I learned to keep it cloaked from the awareness of the man who once called me his protege, a backhanded term of endearment from a smug manipulator. Locating his so-called dark pockets was the only gambit I had in countering his milk-tongued doublespeak. The expatriate, for indiscernible reasons, seemed naturally surrounded by such a void in the doctor's awareness, and so was uniquely fit to inherit the orb. The doctor could not see his treasure, nor I into it. I considered what to do with it for a while. Should I find pyrospite by consulting with the oracle, as I had done so often to steal fortune from my adversaries? I guessed exploiting some technological means of gazing through its surface might have been simple enough, but I hesitated. Every expedient granted by its counsel, though never instantly, came at a price. Knowing his nature, I'm surprised I only now recognize it as yet another instrument of his spurious benevolence, dangerous by way of selective divulgence. The sense of infallibility his oracle brought me was superficial, and in hindsight weakened my readiness. Knowing my fate so far in advance, I took Red Glare's threat lightly. My greatest mistake I've ever made was asking the orb when I would die. But as I revisited the prophecy surrounding this unfortunate query, something struck me. I thought of the man I would have as a matesprit centuries from now, who was sent to command an army of beasts, the one it called the Summoner. If my obsession with the dragon would continue to burn for so long, would he be the one to assist me in taming it? I did not have enough knowledge to ask the right questions when I had the opportunity. Were that the case, I might have asked it if it would be his rare abilities of communion that would bring pyrospite under control. Would it be on account of my influence? And if so, would I exert this influence by taking his will or winning his heart? These are details I would have given no second thought in drawing from the orb, my curiosity a force usually too much to quell. But now, I have thought of the Summoner often. I have been troubled to know that, as one so common-blooded, he could not possibly have hatched yet, nor will he wriggle from the caverns for many sweeps. So I must have patience to take up my role in his story of heroism. It is a tale which reads to me as though lifted from a child's story, yet I know I'd be a fool to doubt its veracity entirely. He would rise through the ranks of the cavalry reapers and assume command, having proven the most skilled and fearless of them. He would exhibit a remarkable pubation, the sort only recorded in myth, growing, or perhaps simply revealing, a striking pair of wings. His army thus inspired would spearhead a major rebellion, surely one at least on the scale of this sectarian revolt crushed by the High Bloods, who thereafter forbade its mention, or any invocation of the heretical symbols at all, even in private journals. Which is why I will stick to the fable of the Summoner, and not risk another execution with even oblique reference to the compelling tale of the Sufferer. Resolution to the Summoner's mutiny is foggy, and I only understand what has been related to me through the brief answers I thought to solicit. Ultimately, the ire of the Condesce would be such that, in the settling dust of the conflict, she would banish all from the homeworld except the young. She would scatter all who reach maturity to the stars to fight her wars, I presume to keep them occupied, existing in a less centralized state from which such a coup may arise. This is still an incredible notion for me to consider, and I cannot imagine how she would come to enforce such an upheaval on our civilization. Though I suppose she will have on her side the advantage of an unparalleled lifespan, and the leverage extended by the hideous psychic prongs of her deep, undulating monstrosity. That is, until it chooses another little witch to serve. Nonetheless, I take the prediction as truth, and find it amusing that a homeworld dominated by children will be the great summoner's legacy. One of them, at least. More importantly, and less amusingly, his legacy will be my demise. You see, I first learned his name when I asked who would be the one to kill me. I have never spoken nor written of him out of contempt for the prophecy, but do so here, in my final entry for this journal. I took this to be a pitiable fate, and scour the orb for any means of escaping it, or at least to salvage a little dignity from the tale of my downfall. Alas, it had no consolation for my vanity. But as I sit here, deciding what to do with the damnable little sphere, I understand my error. It was not in failing to chart a course through future events to turn my fortune's tide, even so many sweeps from now. It was in believing the future was mine to know and fortune mine to control. If this hero was meant to breathe life into my embittered heart, and if he is to earn the right to run it through, then so be it. For him I will commit to this page my highest expectations, and for what precious uncertainty is left in my future I renew my vigorous anticipation. The oracle I will resolve to part with. I will conceal it in a crypt bearing the signal of my expatriate, with a map to his location hidden in this journal. To whomever finds it, be wary, for the truth it tells may leave its new keeper blind as I was. So no more. Flip. Oh, it can actually move now. Nope. Okay then. Those are body parts. Horse? Oh god. Hey Red Glare, nice outfit. Same to you, Vriska. As much as it pains me to admit, your fruity orange fairy suit smells delicious. Thanks, I see you finally wised up and started taking this rivalry serious. I'm not going to try to read this. That's a nice beatboxing thing, even though it's supposed to be a glitch. Okay, moving on. The disc is badly damaged. You can no longer play Homestuck. Quit. You are forced to quit. You will not be able to resume playing unless you can repair the scratch in this disc. You will need to seek the service of someone who is capable of fixing a scratch. A scratch doctor, if you will. God damn it. Visit doctor. Okay, so I'm going to end this episode here because I'm going to make the very foolish, very, very foolish attempt to do the whole Doc Scratch thing in one episode, which will have to happen after this. So let me make sure it's saved so I don't have what happened at the beginning of this episode happen again. So this is going to be a kind of short episode because I will have fast-forwarded through me getting back to where I need it to be. But if this is where the Doc Scratch thing starts, this is where the next episode is going to need to begin. So, anyway, this has been Anachi Sasuke. Thank you guys for sticking around for me flailing around my way back to where I was supposed to be to start this episode. And I will see you guys next time. Later.